Ruben, BBC has done an investigation around social media posts on a specific weekend, the game against Tottenham. I think, given the extreme reactions that you get to defeat and victory at this club and every other club, it's not surprised to know that managers, yourself, Premier League managers, women's managers, get a lot of this abuse. Could you just explain from your perspective how you deal with that and what that feels like and how you think about dealing with that in terms of your family as well?
First of all, nowadays is normal in any profession. When you are exposed like we are exposed, it's harder. But I don't read it. I'm not fake it. I don't read it. I protect myself. Everything that I don't watch TV when they are talking about Manchester. Not because I don't agree. Most of the times I agree with a lot of things that you say, guys. But it's a way of me being healthy. Because it's enough. When we lose, when we draw, when I know that we play bad, my feeling as a coach is enough. I don't need another feelings about around the club. So for me, the only way, there is no other way. The only way is protect myself. Of course, I lose money in sponsors, in Instagram. I could win a lot of money. But for me, the quality of life, the protection of my family, the way I can live a normal life, because I guarantee you I live a normal life, is not worth it. Some more dollars or pounds is not worth it. So I protect myself, and no one can be tougher than me when we lose and when we lose when we don't play well. So that is the only way. But it's normal nowadays. It's really normal to have that abuse. So that's, for me, it's the only way to survive in this world.
Hi, Ruben. We've seen Matheus Cunha is in training. I presume he's fit for tomorrow. And what's the rest of the squad looking like?
We have 2 doubts for the game. I will not tell you today because we'll change the way we are going to approach. Let's see if they can play tomorrow. But the rest of the squad is good. Matheus is back, but I have 2 players that maybe they cannot play. Maguire is still out.
And Sesko.
Yes.
Just on Matheus Cunha, obviously this was a frustrating setback. What have you made of his start, and how many more levels has he got to go?
I think he has more levels to go. He's in the different club, different pressure, but I think he coped with that really well. He was struggling because he was not scoring, and because of social media abuse, he was thinking too much about the numbers, but the influence that he has in the team is so important for us. But I think Cunha has so much to grow defensively and offensively.
Hi, Ruben. Lenny looked a bit upset when he came off on Sunday. Just wondered, first of all, how is he? But then also saw Mason Mount after the game comfort him a little bit. So what does that also say about the culture and maybe how close the group are becoming?
It's really important. Of course, I also spoke with him because he thinks too much. He makes some mistakes in the game and then he struggles because he's too young and he wants to do everything so well. And he's growing. He's growing in one moment that everyone here is growing with games, with setbacks. So it's not easy for him as a young guy. Of course, he cannot give that to the people, the way he came to the bench. So he understands that, but he was really frustrated. On the good side, he shows that he cares, and he was knowing that it was not the best game, but he did some things well, and I show him that also. So he's fit and ready for the next challenge.
I know we've asked you a few times about Shea Lacey, and it seems like he could be getting closer potentially to a debut. You've talked a lot about the players playing for Manchester United, the pressure it comes with. Just wonder, how ready do you think he is for that kind of limelight, and how do you prepare young players for that attention that they'll receive once they start playing in the first?
First of all, trying to explain every day how to play, because if you are comfortable in the way, you have no many doubts when you are playing. That will help the kids to play. Then is to work the physicality, to understand that when he's training with us, give him time with us, to understand that the speed of the pressure, the moment to have the ball, to pass the ball is completely different if you compare to under 21. So that is the only way that I know how to prepare a kid to play for the club, especially for this club. So we'll have to go there to have the chance. I don't know when, but is ready to play.
Ruben, the next challenge is West Ham, and Nuno has recently gone in there. What have you made of what he's done and the changes he's made, and what kind of challenge do you face?
I had no doubts that he would have success, no matter what the club. He is really experienced. He knows how to work with different squads. He understands really well the league, and that is a plus when you are a manager. We know that it's going to be tough. He's really smart preparing the games, understanding the environment of the game, who has more responsibility, all these things around the game. Is really good on that. But I expect I'm just more focused. Of course, the preparation is about the opponent, but I'm really focused on what we need to do, what we need to improve, especially if you look at our first half against Crystal Palace. So it's going to be a tough match.
Can I ask you about Diogo, his role in the team this season? Him is playing in your squad. What's he bringing to you? What can he do better?
I think he can do a lot of things like other players better. I think when you see a very good game of Diogo, he can show that he has the quality, and sometimes it drops a little bit. But if you look at our team, everyone is a little bit like that. He's really powerful. He's good on set pieces, and you have to understand that in this league is really important. He can play both sides. It depends on what you want, the system that you are going to face, and to have that ability of playing both sides, changing position during the game, that can help you also to think about the squad for the league. So it's one player. He's international, always playing for National League. So it's a very important player for us, but he needs to improve like any other player.
On Thursday night, Manchester United take on West Ham United. Now, Manchester United are back to winning ways, Crook. You've got to be delighted about that. You know, they have a bad game. They've had 5 unbeaten. They lose to Everton. Okay, dust themselves down. And then they go to Inform Palace and get a victory. You must be fist pumping.
Do you know the issue I've got?
You've got right? Quite a few, yeah.
it is when they get beat and when they're bad, they are really bad. You know, Grimsby in the League Cup was an abomination. Hammered away from home in the Manchester derby. Everton against 10 men was one of the worst Manchester United performances I've ever seen. If they won that game, they'd be level on points with Villa and Chelsea in the top 4. So that's where my frustration comes in, because they're capable of getting results as they did in the second half. Or as I mentioned at the top of the pod, I think a lot of that was down to the fact Palace had a long away trip on Thursday night, only had about 60 hours to prepare for the game. But the first half performance was shocking. You know, a lack of energy. There was no willingness to run off the ball. The system for me was a problem. Again, he did make a little tweak actually in the second half. He got Mbumo higher up the pitch, almost playing in alongside Xerxes, and that enabled them to go on and win the game. But the next bad performance is only ever around the corner, and it'll probably come on Thursday night. He's not going to be comfortable, whatever happens at Old Trafford.
I do feel a little bit sorry for him, Kev. I mean, I don't feel sorry for him very often. Because there's not much joy in his world at the moment. I don't know why that is, but there doesn't seem to be much joy in his world at the moment. Even to the point where when Mason Mount scores what turns out to be the winner, he is at the Chelsea buffet filling his plate with every kind of possible bit of food stuff. And I have to shout out to him, Crook, baby Jesus has just scored. And he just turned round. He didn't celebrate. He didn't cheer. He didn't run over to the screen to have a look at it. He just went, how the hell are we winning this game?
Well, yes. I mean, we had quite a long kind of text conversation on Monday after that performance against Everton. He was not a happy man, I have to say. And with good reason, but we slightly differ on the reasons for this. Because I do speak up for Amorim, and I don't think he helps himself sometimes. Some of the things he says publicly, I think, really hurt his cause. But it's almost like a frustrated supply teacher and the kids just won't behave. Because there are spells in every game where they just don't run. And I get the impression, sometimes you get coaches where you get the impression, he's told them 100 times, if you do this, then we can win the game. We can do this. And it all disappears out their heads as soon as the game starts. But it's the lack of willingness to do the basics, the running, the fighting, all that stuff. The reason we talk about this so much in football is that it's a low-scoring sport, and that stuff matters. All that stuff makes a difference. Intensity, fight, all that stuff. And you only have to be off it a few percentage points at this level, and you're dead in the water. And that's what happened against Everton. I know he made mistakes tactically. I get that. I do get that against Everton, against 10 men. But there was so much space for players to run into. And just 5-yard passes, underhit, overhit, the wrong angles, the wrong runs, all that stuff. Now, he can fix some of that on the training ground, but not all of it. I think this goes back way, way before him. So many performances with players not running, not fighting, and just kind of collectively giving up. I think they need to still be looking in the mirror. I still think this is largely a recruitment/player issue rather than a coaching issue.
I think you're right, and I think the Everton performance sort of is an example of that, because actually Everton just worked a lot harder. Jack Grealish was sick at the end of the game. He had cramp. I was in the tunnel with him. He was like literally on his knees. He was like, everyone thought I was going down with cramp because I was trying to waste time. I wasn't. I literally had just dashed 80 yards that way and then 80 yards that way. I was done. It was absolutely exhausting. But, David Moyes got that buy-in from those players, and it's only very rarely that you see that from Manchester United. And you just think if you did that, it would take you to the next level. Of course, there is a recruitment issue. The quality is not there. I went through the squad with him yesterday. The fact is a lot of the players that they've got are either very young and inexperienced, someone like a Dorgu, who obviously has some talent, because otherwise they wouldn't have scouted him, but he's feeling the pressure of wearing the Manchester United shirt. And then a lot of the other players either are towards the end of their career and on their way out of Manchester United, or they've just come in. There's not enough of those middle band players, those 25 to 28-year-olds that are in the prime of their career. There's not that. And that is, I think, a major issue. The squad is very unbalanced in terms of age, I think, as well, and experience. It used to be, years gone by, that Crystal Palace would be trying to take advantage of Manchester United's tough away trip in Europe, but the roles were very much reversed, weren't they, on Sunday? I wonder how it will pan out on Thursday night when they take on West Ham.
Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim used his latest press conference to deliver important updates before their crucial match against West Ham. The biggest headline was the return of Matheus Cunha, who has come back to training after recovering from injury. Amorim suggested that Cunha could be available for selection, offering United a much-needed attacking boost heading into a tough fixture. However, the good news was balanced with uncertainty. Amorim confirmed that there are still 2 players who remain doubtful for the game, and he refused to reveal their names. He explained that keeping this information private is part of his tactical approach, and he plans to make a late decision based on their fitness. Long-term absentees, including Benjamin Sesko and Harry Maguire, are still unavailable and will require more time before returning to action. Amorim acknowledged the impact of these injuries, but insisted the squad must find solutions and maintain consistency. Beyond team news, Amorim emphasized the need for improvement, particularly after a mixed performance in their previous match. He highlighted the importance of maintaining intensity, avoiding complacency, and building momentum. Overall, United enter the West Ham match with cautious optimism, boosted by returns but challenged by ongoing fitness concerns.